Welcome to the return of us.
Us? Who's us?
Well, who else? Us. I know we've been off the airways for like a couple of months. It's just been like personal life's just been hectic, and plus preparing for the Kingdom State show and all this other stuff that's been going on. So that's why we haven't been on the air for a while. Which I'm glad to be back, and I know she's glad to be back too. And she's giving me a weird look.
Who's now? I'm glad to be back. I don't want to talk to these fools.
Talk about you don't want to talk to your fools. What do you mean?
There's smarks out there. They're scary.
Well, of course ain't nothing but smokes out there, but especially like there was one smart that canceled his whole WWE subscription. Talk about, oh, I'm sick of tired of wasting money on something that I just don't like.
Don't like these nuts either.
Well, it's like the truth of the matter is, it's like I think it's problem with some of these like young people, especially the ones that like kind of grew up around the Attitude Era, and it's like they done everything that it's that has been ever done in wrestling. Well, as from back then all the way up to now with like other wrestling federations, everything has already been done, because like you don't have no choice to like recreate like things that will speak the interests of fans. So it's like it ain't much you can do. You can do the same things but just with different people, and it's either take it or leave it, or it's for sell or don't sell. So it's not like, because it's partially the fans' fault for like expecting too much, and it's partially the promoters and stuff fault for like, because promoters been saying they moving up to the day and age, and some of them is not, and some promoters think is like back to the early 1900s or something like that. But if it's worth for some reason, or you get sucker into it, you just get sucker into it. Just what more can you say? But for the smart marks that's out there, smarks that's out there, like tonight's Raw, for example, it was actually pretty good, and I think the main event, in my opinion, although it was kind of short-lived, was ended up pretty good, and everybody chanting, "This is awesome," and like, why would you hate on that, in my opinion? But although I'm upset with the quality, the amount of matches that has been on tonight's show, which I think it should have been at least one or two more. So that I'm disappointed at, and it's just really, like I say, it's not one of those like type of roles that they just throw in all together and stuff. They actually, kind of planned on some of the stuff they wanted to do from what it seems like weeks. And if something happens, they had to rewrite some things, like with Orton not being on the show because he might have got attacked by the Wyatts, or Kane being suspended, which they really didn't talk much about the main event this Sunday, which is like kind of a little bit shocking, because the main event, of course, is going to be Hell in a Cell, but they're going to have another main event with Seth Rollins and Kane. They really didn't talk much about that. So are they going to squash this match, or not going to have it, or know what's going on? And with the kickoff show, which I know some of y'all fans were complaining about, with tag team Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose versus the Wyatts, which is Luke Harper and Braun Strowman. And this is going to be kind of interesting since Eric Rowan had returned tonight as well. So this is gonna be kind of weird and kind of like different, real different.
The problem is, in my opinion, I'm sorry to overtalk you on here, is this. There are too many people out there, we'll say, who don't understand the history of wrestling.
Okay.
They don't understand the reason why Ric Flair is so revered in the profession.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the kids out there who are watching it now are just, you know, oh, it's Ric Flair, woo! That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the Four Horsemen and, you know, all of that lot that led up to this. And what they don't realize is that when it comes to this whole Attitude Era deal, the Attitude Era goes in waves. Go back to when you had the likes of the Bushwhackers still wrestling, Midnight Dream still wrestling, all of those groups and everything. If you think of how vicious it was and everything then as well, then you went through that lull period again. And that lull period brought out the likes of Hulk Hogan. That's why Hulk Hogan was such a big thing. A lot of times they do a lot of these things based on what's going on in the world and current events. And let's be perfectly honest, with the school shootings, with the unrest in the Middle East, with ISIS and all that lot, WWE is trying to be sensitive because there's a lot of things they cannot get away with. That's why the whole business with Rusev was squashed so quickly, because there was hostility going on between the US and Russia over different things. Now, when things have quietened down again, and as you've seen, it's starting on the upturn again. Now, yeah, there are still world events going on that are causing problems, but they're quieting down. So if you look at the wrestling in regards to that, things are starting to go off. You have got the Wyatt family and Roman Reigns and all that lot battling it out. You've got now Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker and everything. It's starting to not have it. It's not the Attitude Era. That's done with. That's over. Put it in an envelope. Put a stamp on it. Mail it off to the archives. It's done. They won't go back to that. They're trying to make a new era. And fans have got to realize that. It can't stay the same or we're going to be stuck in the 90s. It can't be the same. It has to move on. You may not like it, but you'll get used to it, and there will be something that comes out of it that makes you say, you know what, I like that. That was good. That was good. You just have to watch it and find it. You can't just not watch like 6 weeks of wrestling and come back for one show and go, oh, same as when I left it. You know what I mean? You have to watch it to see where they're going.
And right, actually watch it, not just...
Not just piddle and complain about it.
Just complain and plus talking through it, complain, talk through it, watch, complain. Like really, really focus on watching the show, not just, oh, you saw one part. Nope, I ain't going to watch it. I'm going to talk about something else.
There's some crap that has been on there. Because you and me have looked at each other sometimes and gone, what the hell are they thinking?
Yeah,
seriously?
There's been some moments. There's been some moments that has been like that.
We
that
looked
is
at each
true.
other and we're like, I want some of what they're on because it's obviously working for them. And we have seen that. We have seen that a few times.
Right.
But you have to watch it. You can't just gaze over it and think, okay. You seriously have to watch it.
Right. It's just like people complain about who they trying to put on, but they don't realize it's like, yeah, you guys are investing in WWE or TNA or whoever federation you're watching. Yeah, you investing in that, but the thing is like you're not giving some of these federations like the time of day because you expect too much.
And the other issue that I have as well, can you move all of this up, please? I need what's underneath it.
Yeah.
the other issue I have with some of this as well is the fact that there are a lot of people involved in the wrestling world, so to speak, who believe that that's the be all and end all of everything.
Mm-hmm.
That there are no other challenges or other ways that you can go forward and move on in things. It has to be, as we just said, it has to be this way or no way. You've got to be flexible. You've got to understand what's going on in order to, you know, make things different and to make things work. And if you're not willing to, then I'm sorry, but it isn't going to work.
Right. Yeah, you're right about that.
I have moments when I can do it. Not all the time, but
Well, it just sucks, and I bet, like I was saying, like, people gonna think, like, tonight's Raw is like, oh, it sucked. It's probably not even that good. It probably sucked.
But they're building up to Sunday. You know what?
Yeah,
I
they
mean?
are.
And let's be perfectly honest, they're having to rest their wrestlers. They've got no choice. They have to rest their wrestlers. And what they're trying to do is to, you know, do it in such a way where there's action still going on,
Mm-hmm.
but there's calm and some, you know, let's chill out type of deal going on as well. Because otherwise that's how you get injuries and everything.
Right, and like with some people, it's like, I understand you see some of the same wrestlers like every week, but since y'all over there attacking on one wrestler being on doing the same thing every single week, do y'all see what they doing with Seth Rollins as of late? And do y'all see what they did with past champions
Well, and
as of late?
it's not only that as well. It's, you know, there's the fans are to blame for the direction that things go in at times.
Yeah.
Because if you keep on cheering and booing for certain people, then that's who they're going to go with.
Mm-hmm.
If you boo for Rusev and for, let me think, the Wyatt family and everything, okay, they're going to keep pushing Rusev and the Wyatt family as being heels.
Mm-hmm.
You keep cheering for Roman Reigns and for this wrestler and that wrestler, they're going to keep them and they're going to keep them in the forefront. They're going to keep pushing them.
Yeah, I agree with
What
you.
if you want to see your wrestler that you really like get pushed further and be in more main focus, then you as a fan do something about it. Go and buy his shirt. Go and cheer him on.
Mm-hmm.
Join the fan sites and I'll be like, oh my god, such and such. You know, go to WWE's website. You know, what's going on with so and so? Why aren't we seeing him? Come on, bring back and do that. There are thousands of people out there who that's what they do every day.
Right, it just...
And if you're not willing to do it, then I'm sorry, but then you're part of the problem as to why these things aren't happening. And don't sit there and bitch about it. Do something about it.
Yeah, I do agree with you that this is like how the direction that they're going with certain things is because of the fans.
Yeah.
And I can understand there's some things that, you know, some shows just put on and just thinking like, what?
Yeah.
I can understand that, but like half of that is like either A is the fans' fault, B they have to put like time in there for like you know, to add something just to have like a rest period for some wrestlers or the rest period for action.
And I agree that they do need. Whose popcorn is this?
That was Roberts.
That was Robert's.
Uh-huh.
Oh. They do have to have a rest period. We know that. And I understand that completely. But what I'm saying is if you've got a wrestler out there who you want to see more of,
Mm-hmm.
then for the love of God, do something about it. You know what I mean?
Right, because canceling the network and not watching WWE is not going to do anything. As many what it's going to do is going to focus on the fans that's really there. It's going to stick with them since day one. It's going to entertain them. And the funny thing is like the shows that they do live when you're there is more interesting than when you see it on TV because you're right there. Because I think,
but the other thing is that these people have got to understand that at the end of the day they're out to make money.
yeah, that's how it is with business.
Yeah.
They're out there to make money.
And you've got to do what it takes. If you want it to be different, then you've got to do something about it.
Like, let's just say, for instance, like a wrestler, a popular one from, let's just say Ring of Honor, for instance. He appears to like a meet and greet and he signs and stuff, and he has like tons and tons of people. That's gonna send a message to people at that company, just like, yeah, he's really, really over.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing they do when they do these like special appearances in these meet and greets at let's just say Comic Con or like Independence Scene. They make like a special appearance and sign autographs.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, okay, this person is over.
Yeah. And you've got to help them do that.
Yep.
Go to the meet and greet. See, I mean, God, how many ones have we been to where we've waited what seems like forever?
Mm-hmm. It's been plenty.
You've just got to do it though.
Right, exactly. It just seems like people just rather like whine and complain than try to like do something about it to show some support.
Yep.
And it's just sad, and I don't know, it's just some fans just need to just start growing up and stop ruining it for like the fans that's actually like enjoying it and things like
Sadly,
that.
no, it won't change. Not anytime soon.
I got a question for you. Okay, I'll just wait till you.
You're gonna have to ask me now because I'm walking around. I got stuff to do. What?
Okay.
What's the question?
The question is, do you think social media ruined wrestling?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Why?
Because social media helped people get together and talk about things, and get their viewpoints across, tell people what they like, what they don't like, help promote things better. Yeah, there have been times, but it's like with everything where social media, you could say it with all events, like with sports and basketball, football, music. It's made it easier to voice your opinions on things, but I don't think it's ruined it, because there are a lot of things. There's a lot of wrestling and stuff that you hear about that if you didn't have social media, how would you know about it? How would people know about Ring of Honor? How would people know about some of the Japanese wrestling? How would you know about where all these different things that go on?
That is kind of a good point.
I have one more.
But I do have one more.
What?
Do you think some of the people in social media ruin wrestling?
Oh, that, yeah. For sure.
So it's more like people in the social media than the social media itself.
Yeah, I don't think that it's social media that has ruined wrestling. I think that there's, as you just said, there are certain people within social media who have caused the problems.
Yep, enough said. I do agree with that. But because I know we can talk about this subject like all day long and stuff like that. So let's just get to what happened on Raw tonight. Stone Cold Steve Austin kicked off Raw, and they introduced Undertaker, then Brock Lesnar came out, and looked like it's gonna be a little scrapper, but that didn't happen. 6-man tag, which has been a couple of 6-man tags they had today, or tag team matches. John Cena and Dudley Boyz versus the New Day. The thing is, like, before I talk about who wins with the New Day, here's another example that we're talking about. We have New Day coming in as faces and everybody booing the crap out of them. then when they become heels, some of y'all still boo the crap out of them, while some of us do cheer. And that change of pace or whatever with the New Day, like I still cheer for them because it's the fans' fault for why they are now heel and they was like at first face. So that's probably the only reason I would say I would cheer for a bad guy, is because if it's the fans that's the one to blame for booing this guy and making them turn heels. The New Day did win the match. Divas Tag Team match, Alicia Fox and Nikki Bella versus Naomi and Sasha Banks. Nikki Bella did get the pin, so Alicia Fox and Nikki Bella won the match. Seth Rollins and Ryback. Seth Rollins won that match. An interesting 6-man tag that's actually going to happen this Sunday as well, with Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville versus King Barrett, Rusev, and Sheamus. King Barrett, Rusev, and Sheamus did win that match. Charlotte and Brie Bella had a one-on-one. Charlotte won the match. Kevin Owens versus Mark Henry, which was a little bit interesting, but Kevin Owens did win that match, and I guess I was surprised what Ryback did, and he ended up powerbombing Kevin Owens. But then again, from their previous matches, we saw the strength of Ryback and what he did to Kevin Owens, the person that size before. And although this reunion didn't last, it's the Shield versus the Wyatt family. Yes, I said it. Although they claim it's not like a reunion, but at least it was a little bit of a reunion.
It's a teaser.
Yeah, a teaser. Although it didn't last long, Seth Rollins claimed he had an injury and went out the match. So the Wyatt family, which were Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, and Bray Wyatt, and they won the match by disqualification. Dean Ambrose came out with a kendo stick, started beating the crap out of him.
Libby.
Then Roman Reigns came out, started doing his thing and all that. Oh wow, that was kind of quick. And I guess they doing like little minute commercial breaks or whatever. But anyway, it was good that they had some of the throwback wrestlers in there, like Steve Austin, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. That segment with Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins, that was pretty good. Overall, I'm not saying it was a bad Raw, but it was good enough for the go home Raw. I am gonna try to do a pre-show. It's gonna be on YouTube this coming Saturday, and also I do finally have a blog, so this video probably will be on the vlog, because right now I'm recording, and it will be on, of course, on YouTube and be on my new blog. So it will be posted on my Facebook page of the blogs that I read. So hopefully y'all check that out. And I guess according to the on-air radio, we're out of time. So we're glad to be back, and we're glad that y'all listening in and watching the show and stuff like that. So until then, see you next week, or see you this Saturday for the YouTube, and also see you this Sunday for after the pay-per-view. Good night, everybody.